Hello, Connective. We have the Energy Oracle cards today. We have the Energy Oracle cards. We're just looking for one card. One card today from the Energy Oracle. These cards are really behaving themselves. They were falling out before I hit the camera. just giving me all kinds of messages. And now they're kind of like, I don't know, we're looking for that one card. One card. Goddess of the Moon. Let's put it here. Read it. I want to read it. I want to say this card's come out before, but we didn't read it because I think it came out with other cards. Yeah, we just had a full moon eclipse, and it's supposed to really affect people in all different ways. Sometimes you can work with the moon, you just gotta pay attention. Goddess of the Moon, intuition, going within. This card shows an eternal spirit holding the bright reflective moon and standing in front of the crystal clear waters of a sparkling waterfall. Her arms are stretched upward, receiving the light of the moon, the light of inspiration. This card is all about intuition, the ability to receive insights from your soul's point of view. Receiving the card upright tells you that you have the power to get intuitive information on all types of issues, and now is the time to use it. The Goddess of the Moon brings you all sorts of information from the mundane to the spectacular. For instance, you could get the urge to take a different route home from work and find out later that you've avoided a 3-hour traffic jam. Or you might have an idea for a great invention, a stock investment, or a spellbinding novel. This card could also indicate a significant blossoming of psychic ability and mediumship, even on a professional level. You're always blessed with this ability to connect, but this card is telling you that now is the perfect time to open up. Get ready for the amazing inspiration this brings. All right, so let's find the affirmation. I have a strong intuitive voice. I freely receive guidance, and I understand and trust the messages I receive. Now, that's actually a really neat card. First of all, I feel the need to point out that the moon is, again, the symbolism of the moon is kind of like what's unseen, what's in your subconscious, your unconscious, or, what we call the shadow. But yes, it also represents intuition. Going within is part of, when the card's talking about going within, it is talking about your shadow, but also, intuition. And, going within, a lot of people don't want to do it. I understand. I just did a video about journaling and how it's not the going within that bothered me so much. It was like kind of reading it afterwards. And, some people do it better as far as like going within. Like if something happens, if I'm triggered now by, my shadow, something happens and I just kind of am surprised by it, I ask myself the question, hey, why did that happen? One time I couldn't really figure out what had happened, but it was more of like who was involved. It was over a period of time, but I realized that there was only one person that could trigger me. And then I figured out that it wasn't what was happening. It was that person was involved, And so then I was able to deal with that person a little bit a different way because they know better, but I know better too. So, going within sometimes is even just about the question of what happened, or, why did that happen, or who, how come every time something happens, this person's involved, or something like that, It doesn't have to be a deep dive. It can be if you want, but you have to start somewhere anyway. Like if you're trying to access your shadow, or maybe you have to, but you don't really want to, and you're kind of like, I don't know, I'm not comfortable doing this right now. I'm dealing with other things, whatever the situation may be. Like I said, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to dive to the bottom of everything. You know, first of all, I mean, that might not even be possible. If your subconscious decides that it's not time for you to go all the way down, then you're probably not going to. You're probably going to only get what you can handle as far as healing, you know, getting into stuff and healing. And sometimes you'll think that things will be done, and then you'll realize that there's things even far back in your life, you know, like going back to your childhood maybe, that you never got to because you just sort of forgot about it, didn't realize it made that big of a deal to you. I actually had something like that happen to me where I saw a video that triggered an emotion that I didn't even know I had, and it was from when I was like 11. And I was like, wow, like I didn't even know I felt that way about that, you know. And I was kind of hurt like about it over a couple of days, and then, you know, I was able to kind of watch that video again and just, you know, really just, you know, be happy for the situation, for the person that was in it. But you know, my point is that that wasn't going to come up until I was ready to deal with it, to where it wasn't such a huge thing anymore, and I could kind of just look at it from a different point of view, and then go ahead and let it go, you know. But that's the part, you know, that we're talking about going within. This book really says that this card is all about intuition and the ability to receive insights from your soul's point of view. You know, the next sentence is, receiving the card upright tells you that you have the power to get intuitive information on all types of issues, and now is the time to use it. You know, I was about to talk about the words, your soul's point of view, in this book. I really like that because, you know, it reminded me of a story, and I do kind of feel the need to tell it because sometimes I feel like some of the things that I've been through that are, you know, either pivotal or noteworthy, you know, somebody either is, you know, has or is going to go through that. And, you know, I this whole video was created because I want you to know you're not alone. You know, you're not alone. And I don't think you should have to go through everything on your own to figure out how to deal with it, or to find out that, you know, you're not alone and somebody else has gone through it too. You know, as far as, you know, looking at stuff from your soul's point of view, you know, when I was doing my coaching program, I learned, you know, that there was a concept of everyone has a question. Everybody has a question in your life. And, you know, when I was going through this program, I was always challenging every concept. And so I was like, oh yeah, you know, okay, what's my question? And, you know, I realized what my question was, fairly quickly. And I realized that it was a question I carried throughout my whole life, that when I was dealing with people, like, this question was up, and this question had never been answered or fulfilled. And because this question was wrapped around other people, I said, wow. I said, well, time to get a new question because this isn't working. I think were my exact words. And I started focusing on my career instead of relationships with other people. I decided that I was going to go it alone. I was like, we're done. I'm done trying to figure out people. You know, when I'm in relationships, I'm in them wholeheartedly, and everybody can see it. There's no question. And all I'm getting back is, you know, a bunch of freaking ancient Chinese secrets and Scooby-Doo mysteries. And I said, forget it. I'm not doing that anymore. Move forward. I'm going to figure out what I want to do with myself. Right? Then I got some information that on my spiritual path that there would be another soulmate coming in. Right? And I said, well, you know what? I've already decided. I'm not going to go back and try to figure this out again. I've already decided that I'm not going to welcome, and there are no more relationships. So we're done with that question. That question's done. And then I think it would be another month or two, you know, before I would start to realize what might be the consequences for making a decision like that based on factors that I couldn't see. And then I started thinking about going against what my soul's purpose was, what my soul had put out for me, just straight up saying, no, I'm not even going to try that. I don't care what it means, and that kind of thing. And so I really had to, I'm still working on that idea, to be honest with you. I'm not in any place where I'm really doing accept someone, to deal with right now. But I am trying to be open to that. I'm trying to be open, even though what I don't know might cause fear. I'm not allowing myself to be afraid, especially over a relationship. But, also because I can't see anything. I can't see it. I don't think I'm supposed to be able to see it right now. So, it's just one of those things that's on the back burner. But if it wasn't for my perspective of what my soul wants for me, the things that I can't see, and I can ask, and this book even says I can get that intuition. I can ask myself and get that intuitively, that answer back. And there's actually multiple ways that I could do it if I wanted to do it. Not really 100% into that right now. That's why I'm not going to list the ways, but and only because we're going to take this little by little. We're going to talk about those other things later. I mean, but one of the easy ways you could, if there was something like that for you, this thing that I just described, you could just literally meditate more. And when you meditate more, and especially if you put on theta waves and you put the headphones in your ears so that you just hear the theta waves and not the traffic outside and all that other stuff, it puts you more in a meditative state so that you can connect with yourself. And you can even ask yourself the question, or you can just connect with yourself, and you'll intuitively start getting the answers of why things are a certain way. I guess I was going to say, going back to my story too, make sure if you are doing something like that, especially where there's relationships concerned, make sure you're healed. If you're not fully healed, then just, you can look into it all you want, but wait for the divine timing on that one, because you don't want to be in a relationship while you're not healed, and you wouldn't want to rush a relationship where the other person's not healed. And then you're leaving yourself open for them to work their shit out on you. I mean, it sounds a little messed up, but again, when people rush it, you rush it, you're basically asking that person to let you work your crap out on them. Which is, great if that person wants to do that, but I don't recommend it. Creating situations with new people that you have to heal from right from the get-go. Just, fix that stuff first. Get that shadow in order, especially if you get out of a relationship before you get in a new one. If you're in a relationship, you can work on this in a relationship, what you can't see. You can work on your relationship and your intuition in that relationship. So you can feel either better about that relationship, the external, or feel better about yourself with the internal. But definitely be mindful of what's in there when it comes up. Recognize, especially sometimes if you know that it's your issues. Sometimes we try to do things with our kids and stuff, and it's our own issues, and we're complaining about them. And the thing they're doing isn't even really bad. They're just being kids, and we're just well, they're not doing this. And it's our own stuff. And it's yeah, it wouldn't matter if it was your kid or somebody else's. They're not going to do it either because it's a weird idea, and you haven't figured it out yet because, you're kind of going by what's convenient. You haven't really decided, That's pretty vague. I could give you a perfect example. My son one day was telling me, my grandson didn't want to do his homework when he wanted to, wanted him to do his homework. And I was like, what are you doing? And he was like, well, I'm picking him up from school, and then I come home and I want to take a nap. So I let him play, and then when I get up, we do his homework. And I told him, when I go to school and then I come home, I don't want to play for 2 hours and then start my homework, I told him. At the time I was in college. I was speaking from experience. I said, I don't want to do that crap, man. Go home, 2 hours later, start my homework. Are you kidding me? I told him. I said, you're totally going against the grain there, man. I go, this isn't his problem. This is yours. When you get home, do his homework, then take your damn nap. You'll find that things flow a little better, you know? Your issues, not his. So, you know, consider stuff like that. Use your intuition. I mean, if you can't see it, you know, use your intuition, look at it, say, why is this happening? This person's perfectly reasonable. Why is this happening? And see if it's your shadow. Until we meet again.